and that's been his problem. I believe they can probably win one, maybe two more games than what they won last year. They were 9-7 last year. So I believe with a year up on his belt, they've improved the offensive line. They get Larry. They drafted the Bowles in the first round. He's at left tackle.
You just spoke a mouthful. Yeah. You just predicted 11-5.
No, I said they'll win 1 to 2 more games, 10-6, 11-5. I believe 11-5 might be the best case scenario, but I feel very comfortable in saying 10-6. So let me get this right, Skip. I just want to make sure everybody's with me. Brock Osweiler was a free agent in 2016. You didn't think he was good enough for $16 million or to match the Texans' offer. He's not that good. He goes to the Texans. The Texans are so disappointed in his performance, they package him and his second-round pick to Cleveland for a fourth rounder in return just to get him off their books because they realize that he can't play.
Correct.
The Cleveland Browns says, now his $16 million is guaranteed. That's more money this year in 2017 that Matt Ryan will make in base salary, that Aaron Rodgers will make in base salary. Brock Osweiler is making that. They said, you know what, it's not like Cleveland just dripping with talent. They can't just let people go. They say, you are so bad, you can play football anywhere else. We paying you not to play here.
He got beat out by the rookie.
So he got, hold up, Skip. Not only did he not get beat out by a rookie because you got to pay him, he got beat out by Kessler.
Yeah.
He got beat out by Hogan. Yeah. So now, Brock Osweiler is good enough to come back on a discount. You tried to trade for Colin Kaepernick just last year after you won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You wanted him to take a $5 million pay cut from his 16 to go down to 11. So I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Brock Osweiler is good enough to return on a discount, but Colin Kaepernick is not good enough to get an opportunity on a discount. Oh, interesting. Okay. Now, Colin Kaepernick, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They were a bad team. Torrey Smith is no longer on that roster. He's in Philly. They released Jeremy Curley. They traded the tight end to Pittsburgh. So 3 of the receivers that were on that roster last year, no longer there. Brock Osweiler was throwing to a guy that's the highest paid player in the NFL at his position, DeAndre Hopkins. They drafted Fuller in the first round. Braxton Miller, I think, in the third round. Fedorowicz, he was 15 touchdowns, 16 INTs. Colin Kaepernick, with 3 receivers that's no longer even on the roster today, was 16-4. So Brock Osweiler, now all of a sudden, he can play. He couldn't play for $16 million, but $725. Oh, we can stomach that. It's simple. The way I look at a player, Skip, either he can play or he can't. Money doesn't make a player more valuable. You make his bank account more healthy. But either Brock can or he can't. And we already know the answer to that.
Did I just hear you take a shot at John Elway?
Well, I mean, it's no secret. I mean,
no secret?
It's Skip.
You mean you're just stating the obvious?
Skip. His offensive draft selections haven't been good. Paxton Lynch. If Paxton Lynch was a #1 draft pick, now I get it.
Wait, Jerry wanted him, but that's a whole other issue.
Sometimes the best selection is the one you don't make. He wanted Johnny Manziel too.
He did?
I bet he's glad he took Zach Martin. Skip. Paxton Lynch. He couldn't beat out Trevor Siemian. Okay, we say, well, Trevor had the upper hand because he was already in that system under Kubiak, so he was starting from a position that he was further ahead. Okay, Kubiak leaves. Mike McCoy is now the offensive coordinator. They're starting at the same starting point. And Simeon went here, and Paxton Lynch was still here. So now, Brock Osweiler, Paxton Lynch, tell me the offensive player that he's drafted that you can think of off the top of your head. I'm not talking to ones. Demaryius Thomas was there before he got there. He traded for Emmanuel Sanders was a free agent.
He was.
C.J. Anderson was undrafted. Still waiting. So
Shannon Sharpe is taking a shot at John Elway, the quarterback, the all-time great quarterback who threw Shannon Sharpe into the Hall of Fame. Am I right?
This is no shots. I don't take shots. I'm not a basketball player back in the day. I used to take shots.
Stating facts.
I'm just stating the facts.
You are stating a correct fact. John Elway, all-time great quarterback, has been disastrous at picking or acquiring quarterbacks, except for one who fell into his lap straight out.
Oh, you can't talk free agency.
Peyton Manning said, I want to go there.
Yeah.
I like that team. I like those coaches on that staff. I want to be there.
Skip, look at what Skip. You had Eric Decker, Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas. You had No Sean Marino, and you had Von Miller. You look at that defense, what they had. Champ Bailey was there at the time. Chris Harris Jr., who was an up-and-comer. Look at what they had.
Loaded.
They were loaded. Malik
everywhere.
Jackson, Derek Wolfe.
Okay. So it's always a good show when I get to bring up Tim Tebow twice in the show. And we are going to talk about Tim Tebow playing baseball a little later. The show. But right now we're going to talk about Tim Tebow playing football.
Yes.
Because I also thought Tim Tebow made John Elway look a lot foolish because Elway inherited Tim Tebow. He did not draft him. Josh McDaniels did. McDaniels fired, then John took over, John Fox took over, and they went with Kyle Orton all the way to 1-4, and then they had no choice. They said, let's just get this over with. Let's throw him into the fire. He will get burned. And you know what happened. Tim Tebow led them to a division title. He turned them into the #1 rushing attack in all of pro football, and they beat Ben Roethlisberger in a playoff game. And all of a sudden, what was going to be a disastrous first year under John Elway became a wildly successful first year. And then right on schedule, Elway got saved from Tebow because who could argue with Peyton Manning versus Tim Tebow? Yeah, it's over. And all of a sudden, Tim Tebow's traded to the Jets.
Right.
So Peyton comes in, and again, I first guessed this one. I said he's got a whole lot of football left in him. I said that Jim Irsay is making a big mistake, pushing him out the back door, trying to pat him on the head in Indy, because Peyton's doctors are saying he's going to be just fine in time. And he wasn't just fine. He was just great, because he should have won MVP the first year. He did win it the second year. He got it the first year coming back. And then he did win it the second year, and the third year was pretty great. Yeah. Obviously, they ended up winning the Super Bowl.
37-11.
Yeah.
55-10.
Wow.
39-15.
Okay, but was that John's doing? Did he pick Peyton Manning? No, he didn't pick him.
Well, Peyton kind of picked them.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, John was like, I'm sure John was like, yeah, we'd love to have you here. And the thing that really worked in their favor, John being in the front office, John winning Super Bowls later in his career, but he had a defensive head coach. And what happens when Peyton, because Peyton's going to run the offense. Yep. Peyton's in control of the meeting room. And so you have to have a head coach that's comfortable enough in his own skin to let him do that. So why will John not let go of Brock Osweiler? Because, as the Bible tells us, pride goeth before the fall. Yeah. So he's holding on to his own pride. I picked this guy, and I'm going to show you I can still make a success out of this guy. And what is the oldest saying in football? When you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. And they actually have sort of three quarterbacks and no quarterbacks, because I don't love any of them, which brings me back to the other part of the question, the locker room. I did have much respect for T.J. Ward. Yes. I know everybody did. And remember that early game last year was the opening. It was the opening game against Cam. T.J. Ward was he was rolling heads on the field, right? He will strike people. Yes. And he brought a toughness and a ferocity and sort of a mindset to that secondary that was pretty scary. And I think he's beloved in the locker room. Again, a lot of players get, like we've seen Belichick cut bait with somebody, and he's beloved like Lawyer Malloy. Correct. And you get over it. But I think there's some turmoil here leading into week one, because in this case, you don't have a Tom Brady to lean back on. You still got to trust that Trevor Siemian is going to come off surgery and rise and show. He's playing a little better, equal to. Nah, I don't see that. Because, hey, they're going to pump the balls up. They're going to kick it off Monday night. Just because NFL football is back, and I'm excited, I'm going to make an early prediction. I know we're still a week away from this game because it's on Monday night. Yeah. I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers to upset the
suddenly chaotic Denver Broncos on opening night at Mile High.
You want some dew on that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want a fountain of dew.
I like Phillip
Like
Rivers.
a fondue station. You know, they have that chocolate has me flowing. That's why I want my.
You know, Phillip Rivers, just a little known fact, is 6-5 in his career in regular season games at Mile High. That's pretty good.
I mean, a lot of those games against who, Skip?
Well, I don't know.
Jay Cutler.
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just throwing that out.
And Tebow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I told you, Jason Verrett, Casey Hayward are the two best corners in football. I already told you that. I'm going to stand by it. They're going to show up and show out.
Who was the All-Pro corner last year?
Just watch. Who led the league in interceptions?
Oh, we got a case of dew on it.
Casey Hayward from Vanderbilt. Led the league in interceptions. Look
it
up.
You can't get an interception when what you comes on the ground.
No takebacks either if you lose.
Vaughn. You know, Vaughn keeps
I'm going way out on the limb with this.
Okay.
Way out
I'm going to saw it off, too.
Okay.
What will happen today in the Zeke appeal? We'll discuss that next. But first, DraftKings has more ways to play fantasy football this year. From private leagues with your friends to casual contests for new players, DraftKings has it all. This week, you can win $1 billion by drafting a perfect lineup in the